My name is Spencer Coffman with Social Media Ministries, and this is Connor Ketterling with River Valley Church.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Connor, are all Christians, are we all called to disciple other people?
Yes, I mean, that's the short answer is yes, we are called to disciple others.
Okay. And so, as a part of that calling, it's something that, like, do we have a choice? You know, like, if I become a Christian today, and you led me to Christ, now are you telling me, like, okay, this is what you have to do?
I'm not going to tell you that. I think Jesus has already told us that.
And he's told us, but, like, are you going to be there to enforce it?
I would say yes, personally, and that's how I want to lead, especially as a pastor. And we see in Matthew 28, the Great Commission. He says, "Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to obey all that I've commanded you to do." I don't really see a lot of wiggle room out of that.
It's true. It's pretty straightforward.
The last thing Jesus says to his earthly disciples in his earthly ministry is, now go and multiply yourselves. Go train other people. Go raise up more disciples. And quite honestly, if we don't do that, it's all over. Like, if we don't raise up more disciples, if we don't proselytize people, if we don't share the gospel and the good news, this is one generation away from being kaput.
Right.
It's all for naught. So the question is not should you disciple, it's who should you disciple.
That's so true. That is a great point. And so then, as someone becomes a Christian, they need to be not only becoming a disciple themselves, but then looking for ways and for people to disciple as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like that thought of the reference point. So if I'm a reference point for someone, then who is that person a reference point for? Who are the unsaved people in their life that they can start seeing, oh, there's a transformation in you. Oh, you used to go out to parties with us and now you don't. Hey, you used to be addicted to drugs and now you're not.
Yeah.
So there's always ways that even as newer believers, we can be an example and a light to bring people along of, hey, this is what God has done for me, and I want you to experience that as well. I want you to give your life to Jesus Christ and to serve him. I want you to participate in the same environments that I'm in. And so even as a new believer, you still have the opportunity and the obligation to share with those around you. And I would say it can almost be easier sometimes as a newer believer because you're still ingrained in the same friend group. People can see last week you were, partying hard or depressed or you were doing whatever, and now this week you're like a totally different person. What happened?
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes the mandate is more for people who've been saved for a long time to be re-woken up to, I need to be engaged with people who are maybe not as far along the journey as me, or engaging with lost people that actually say they don't believe in God. And how am I going to, sharpen up the rough edges that I've kind of let go dormant because I've been in the holy huddle for too long, and I don't know what people of the world are talking about. I don't know what the problems they're experiencing. I don't know the sin that they're entangled in. I don't know how to answer the questions that they're asking because I've lived in this incubated bubble space that everybody's assuming the same thing that I do. And so I think it is healthy for people who've been saved for a long time to start engaging again in a healthy way with the world. Not that we participate in it, but that we engage. We're on a rescue mission.
Yeah.
We're called to seek and save the lost. And I think a lot of us, we get saved and then we grow in these spaces with other people, and then we're like the 99. We stay in the pen and we're doing a good job, but we need a few more shepherds that are willing to get out and go back and say, as a person who's been discipled for a long time, as a person who only has Christian friends, I'm going to start purposefully re-engaging with people to help them grow. Like I say, it's a lot easier when I saw you on Saturday and now I see you on Sunday and you're a different person. That's a effective witness. And there's a lot of people that have been saved for a long time that need that jump start again.
Almost like the mega church in the book of James, when they started having all the persecution. And it was like, why are we being persecuted? Because you guys are all settling down. And God told them to go out. So it's like, if you've been a Christian for a long time, get back out in the world. And like you said, we're on a rescue mission.
Yeah, it's important to remember that it's an active faith.
Mm-hmm.
It's a participatory faith. It's a faith and works. It's a growing and going. It's a learning and experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those of us who've been around for a long time, you hear this phrase, well, I'm not being fed or I'm not growing. And it's like, well, who are you leading?
Right.
Who are you helping? Because the early church was exploding with growth, and I don't see a lot of places where people were discontent with their growth in God, because they were continuously solving how to disciple people, and hey, that's not right, and hey, why do we believe that, and oh, hey, let's write to the church fathers and try to figure out this issue, and let's bring more people in. So sometimes we get so caught in the motions that we start to criticize the church coffee, and we criticize what the pastor wears on Sunday, and they didn't play my favorite song, instead of, we got to reach people, we got to bring our neighbors, and how are we doing events that reach unsaved people? And I had somebody in my small group ask me this question. I had no idea how to answer it. Now I'm diving in and searching. So if we get lazy and lethargic, faith is boring.
Right. Your pilot light's going, but if we're meant to have the fire of the Holy Spirit, fire by definition spreads, is unquenchable. Like, where's your fire?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.